Hi and welcome to another Whiskey Apocalypse video. And on this video, it's not going to be a review, it's just going to be how you can maybe get the most from your bottle of whiskey. Now if you buy a bottle of whiskey, you can drink it however you want. And I hate the term masterclass because that implies that I have some great worldly knowledge more than you, and that's probably not the case, but I have been drinking whiskey for about 20 years and taking it seriously and learning about it for that sort of length of time as well. So I do know a little bit. And the whiskey I'm going to talk about mostly today is this. So this is my bottle of George T. Stagg. And this is possibly the best bottle of whiskey, with or without an E, I've ever had. I'm only down to here. It was up to there, down to there. I only had a few grams of this, and it is perfect in every way. It is such a good example of what a distillery can produce. It is, I think, 15 or 16 years old. I'd have to get, there's a letter over there that explains it all, but that would be effort. It is 62.45 unfiltered. That's 124.9 proof if you're in America and watching this. And it's brilliant. But it's very strong. It's very complex. There's just loads happening with this bottle of whiskey. And for me just to pour a dram of this and drink this either neat or even adding some water to it, you're not going to get it all. And in fact, I would say that if I gave this to a friend of mine just now, if someone popped round to the house, in the unlikely event, someone popped round to the house and they had a look in my whiskey cabinet and said, oh, I'd like to try this, I would say, well, could you try doing what I'm going to explain in this video first? So we're going to put that to the side. And if I'm going to have that, what I would do is I would start with something like this. Now, this is a bottle of Old Fettercairn 10-year-old. I picked this up at auction, 43%. It's really, really nice, actually. It's only £22.50. And it is light, and it is soft and gentle, and all these other really beige, bland words that nobody should really be using when they're describing a whiskey. There are some nice honey notes, a little bit of vanilla, there's a little bit of spiced oak, there's some really light fruit notes coming through this. And what this does is, and I'm only talking about a small dram, a capful even, in your glass to start the night off. So pour yourself a glass of this, put a lid on it, and put it to the side. Then have a dram of this. And sip some water. You can drink this neat. This is a pretty easy drinking whiskey. So drink that neat or with a touch of water if you want, and have wee sips of water going through it. Once you've had this and taken 10-15 minutes to drink this small little cap full of whiskey, put that to the side and move on to something else. You could have something like Jim Beam Double Black, or you could have Maker's Mark or Eagle Rare 10 or Woodford Reserve. I would stay away from Jack Daniels because it's a very distinctive smells and tastes of glue. So I'd stay away from Jack Daniels. Its main one is like Gentleman Jack's okay, or the single barrel's okay. So move on to something like that. It's maybe got a little bit of strength. My whiskey of the moment though is this. I won this for being brilliant at making cocktails, apparently. Well, I made one cocktail that somebody quite liked, so I got this. Now this is the Fired Oak. So this is just a heavily charred ex-bourbon and virgin charred oak casks from the former master distiller Graham Cool, who is away to Dingle Whisky now in Ireland, so best of luck to him. But he came up with this, and this is excellent. And this is really, really good. And this has got some quite bourbony notes happening in the bottle. So it's worth checking this out if you like bourbon. And Glenmorangie, I've done a lot of stuff with bourbon where the whiskies do turn to bourbon. This has still got some characteristics of Glenmorangie, but with that extra oomph. So have a dram of this. Again, cap full, and sip it slowly over 5, 10, 20 minutes. Don't just neck it down. And once you've had that, and you've been drinking water, and you've been sipping, taking your time, then go back to this. Because it's only then, once your palate's opened up, once your mouth is used to having alcohol, so 40% spirits in your mouth, that you can handle this properly. And I don't care what anybody says, if you just start drinking this from the off and you're all right, then, you know, personally, to a small dram of this, I would have it, I would nose it and taste it, but the very tiniest amount. If you think of that much in your mouth of this, to taste it and let it open out, and then add some water to this and really let it open up and really let it move on. You could even pour a tiny amount of this into a glass and then another drop at the start of your night, pour a bit of water in and leave it. And for me, that, and then with this, if you're pouring yourself a decent sized dram of this, this wants to be lasting you 2 or 3 hours. This isn't really a whiskey where you would sit drinking loads of this with your mates. I don't think. This is such a good bottle of whiskey. Never mind the money. This was £145 from Good Spirits. If you were to buy this secondary market, which is where most people seem to get it from, it's over £300 at auction and some of these dodgy websites that seem to put these massive markups on their bottles. But I got this via raffle or ballot, and it's wonderful. But never mind the price. This is just a lot of whiskey. Okay. And this to me is how you'll get the best out of this bottle of whiskey. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, maybe make a suggestion, anything else you'd like to see. For reviews of this, I've not reviewed it yet, but I will do. For reviews of this, go to my website at whiskyapocalypse.com or my Patreon, which is Patreon Whiskey Apocalypse, and there are reviews on there. But this site, I don't really want to talk about. I don't want to do reviews. There's enough out there, I think. And thanks.